Okay, back at Third Church of America, where you got the Wondrous Physic again, here. One last item. Right across the lake, right here. So due north of the Church of America. You want to come over here, and I believe it's a scarab that has it. But we're going to, oh, I see it already. It's all the way up there. Okay, so we are going to go and we are going to get you a really nice, powerful Ash of War. Come back here. These guys, anytime you see them, chase them down and kill them because they always have good stuff. They will disappear if they get too far from you. Okay, so now we have the Ash of War Sacred Blade, which, since you are a paladin, you are a cleric, and you're going to be wanting to do holy damage. You're going to level faith, and you're going to level either strength and strength or dexterity. That just depends on what type of weapons you like to use. And we can get into weapon scaling if you want to, but basically the higher the letter, S being the best, A being better, B being slightly worse than that, whatever scaling, however the weapon scales the best, that's going to tell you what you should. For example, the Lordsworn Greatsword has D strength scaling and D dexterity scaling, which makes it a quality weapon. Either my dexterity or my strength is going to give me additional damage. But in any event, apply this Ash of War to your sword, and you can select one of two affinities when you put this on your sword, depending on how you want to go. Just go for the one that gives you the most damage. As you can see here, and under the attack power heading, you get a 98 plus 5, which that plus 5 is your faith scaling. And then you get an additional 98 plus 9, so you get 108 physical, and then you get 108 holy damage. 216. That's pretty good, actually. Now you can either select that sacred, and now you have a Lordsworn's Sacred Greatsword. Congratulations, you have your first faith weapon, and you're going to be kicking ass. But just for shits and gigs, you could also go standard, 136, 100 and 190. So this does not do as well. Those statistics will change as you work your way through the game and your stats get better, because if you have a weapon with very, very good strength scaling and you have 60 strength, you're going to be better off keeping it, either going with a heavy infusion or a heavy affinity, or something to that effect. So we'll go sacred with it. But you could also, there's another Ash of War that is really easy to find called Golden Vow. I can't remember if I showed you the location on that, but there's a knight right behind the Fire Slug location where we were doing that farming. And that Fire Slug, that knight has this Golden Vow. This is a really good Ash of War to put on an offhand weapon. Let me show you that. So if you go to your equipment, now this puts me over. Having both of these on makes me heavy. As you can see under equip load, it's heavy load, which means I am fat rolling. Not good. You don't want that in combat, so you can't carry both of these. But what you can do is you can, this weapon right here, this secondary weapon that you can switch to, and you can do up to 3. I like to do 2. So you can switch to this. Golden Vow gives you a buff that will give you 15% damage and 10% damage reduction. So it's good when you're about to go into combat, throw that on. And then your Sacred Blade shoots out a projectile, and it gives you a lasting buff on your sword. So now you have a holy damaging greatsword, which is pretty cool to have this early in the game. While this aura is on your sword, not the golden vial buff on your body, but while your sword is glowing yellow like this, if you hit a skeleton with it, it will die instantly, pretty much. Anything that is weak to holy damage, skeletons are insanely weak to holy damage. This weapon art, as long as this is buffed, and it stays on there for a decent amount of time, during that whole time you do massive damage. And if you hit them with this projectile, if you hit a skeleton with this projectile, it will destroy them. So, well, in any event, a good thing to point out is if you go to status and you look at the very top right number, that is your R1, your right armament 1. That is that is the sword I'm holding right now in my hands. As you can see, I am doing 300 damage already, and this is with almost no stats invested, and I have not upgraded this sword at all. In fact, now that I'm thinking about that, that's kind of ridiculous. And I think you can even get it higher. So if I were to switch my weapon, buff with golden vial, and then buff my sword. Oh, I can't do it one-handed because I don't have the stats. I'll fix that. I just need 2 more levels. So now if both buffs going at the same time, don't go to status, I'm doing 335. That's a lot of damage. I'm actually kind of surprised as I'm explaining this to you exactly how much damage that actually is. So let's go test it out on something, shall we? Perfect. One of our buddies. So let's see what we can do to this guy. So we will golden vow, and I'm just going to take this off so I'm not fat rolling. Projectile doesn't reach super far, but it reaches far enough. So now, yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely destroying him. I don't even need to get the critical. You can just beat him to death. There you go, Nick. Elden Ring easy mode installed. Go do those things and go be powerful and have fun, because this game's lots of fun.